Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Billy Parrish. Thank all of you for being here. We have a chance this year to pass the law that puts a cap on greenhouse gases and begins the process of saving the planet from the pollution which has been sent up for the last 200 years. And instead of being the laggard, the United States will finally become the leader in saving this planet. And I'll tell you why it's important for you to be here. When 2 generations ago, young women did not have the right to vote, young women created a suffragette movement. They organized and they got the right to vote. When young people were upset that minorities in the South did not have a right to vote a generation ago, they rose up and the minorities in the South got the right to vote. When young people in South Africa were upset with the policy of apartheid that discriminated against the majority of the people in that country, they rose up and they ended apartheid. When young people in the United States were upset with the war in Vietnam, they rose up and they said, this war must end, and that war ended. And now, the green generation is going to rise up, and they are going to demand that all of that red, white, and blue CO2 ends, and that we become the leader, ending the catastrophe which is heading towards this planet. On every one of the issues which is being debated in this country, there is one thing that separates the oil industry, the coal industry, the utility industry, and the automotive industry from the people in this room. On every one of those issues, you are right and they are wrong, ladies and gentlemen. And all you have to know is that last year, Al Gore won an Oscar and a Nobel Prize for a slideshow on science, ladies and gentlemen, because that is now what has ended this debate. The science of this issue is absolutely conclusive. We now know that 19 of the 20 hottest years in history on this planet took place in the last 25 years. The planet is running a fever, but there are no emergency rooms for planets. You have to engage in preventative care to make sure that the disease does not get any worse. And ladies and gentlemen, if we don't, within 10 to 15 years, there will be no snows of Kilimanjaros to inspire the next generation of Hemingways. The oceans are heating up. The fish are disappearing. Mosquitoes-borne diseases like malaria are now spreading. 400,000 people died in India alone from respiratory-related illnesses. Millions of others are going to be affected unless we stop this planet from warming up uncontrollably. 1.2 billion do not have safe water to drink. This is the challenge for this generation in order to make sure that we change the course of history. And the way we're going to do that is by healing the planet, by building a green revolution into a mighty green wave that is going to sweep across the political landscape of this country this year as we pass the legislation that sends President Obama to Copenhagen with a law that says the United States is the leader. For 8 years, GOP The Republican Party, GOP, gang of polluters. GOP, gas and oil party. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got rid of the gang of polluters in November, and with President Obama, because of your efforts, we now have a chance to save the planet. So we are going to pass legislation to accomplish this goal. We're going to increase the fuel economy standards of the vehicles that we drive. Are you with me on that? We are going to increase to 25% by the year 2025 the amount of electricity generated from renewables. Are you with me on that? We're going to back out that oil that we import from the Middle East. We don't need their oil any more than we need their sand. Are you with me on that? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time. This is the place. This is our opportunity. We have the chance here to make a difference, to really do what those students in Tiananmen Square did when they laid down in front of the tanks in Tiananmen Square. That the students in Berlin, when they knocked down the Berlin Wall, all of these students are the green generation now who are going to make the difference. In the same way that President Kennedy called on young people to join the Peace Corps, and President Clinton called for service, was the AmeriCorps. Who in this room is ready to join a clean energy corps that will drive this revolution, that will save the planet? Who here is ready to travel to China and Brazil to be a green ambassador for change in energy and to protect the health of people across this planet? I know that you understand your power to make a life-saving difference, to protect our precious planet and its people. On campuses across this country, students have started sustainability programs because you know that the actions here will help to save a glacier in India, one that millions of people count on for their water that they drink every single day. And that is why Nancy Pelosi, when she took over as the new Speaker of the House, created one new select committee and asked me to be the chair of it, the Select Committee on Global Warming and Energy Independence. Because unless we ensure that this revolution is sustainable, then we cannot save the planet. So this fight is not going to be easy. Donna Edwards already spoke about it. Big oil, big coal, big utilities, they're going to fight every single step of the way, using every trick in the book to kill climate legislation. From delay to denial, from greenwashing to greenbacks, they will spend hundreds of millions of dollars to see that you don't win. Now, our friends in the Republican Party are facing a bit of climate identity crisis. For 8 years, they had 2 oilmen in the White House for 2 terms, and that adds up to $4 a gallon in gasoline. Across town this weekend, the Republicans are having a youth conference called CPAC. One of the panels for that conference is called The True Cost of Global Warming Hysteria. That is the wrong direction. Energy is the issue that should bring us together, not tear us apart. Together, we can bring wind turbines and solar panels that will pull this economy out of the darkness and create 5 million green jobs here in the United States, so that this revolution is something that creates a whole new way in which we can employ people in this country and around the planet. But the Republicans' idea of a revolution is their chant, drill, baby, drill. Look for more oil, look for more coal. That's their idea of a revolution. What do we say? We say, change, baby, change. We're moving to renewables. We're moving to efficiency. So you helped to make this change possible in November. The change from President Bush to President Obama is like switching from a kerosene lamp to a compact fluorescent. And in just his first month, President Obama has already indicated a change in auto emissions, coal plants, work with Congress to pass a recovery package that allocates $40 billion for clean energy projects. If, as a nation, we really commit to a building of this new energy backbone, that Congress can pass climate and energy laws that break from the fossil dependence of the past, and I believe we can unleash a renewable revolution now and watch a total transformation in just 10 years' time. In 1996, I was the principal Democratic author of the Telecommunications Act. In 1996, not one home in America had broadband technology. But once we changed the dynamic, so we went from narrowband to broadband, we had a whole new vocabulary. It became eBay, Google, YouTube, Amazon. Well, that's what we're now going to do in energy technology. And we're going to accomplish it in just 10 years. We're going to have the same kind of revolution that we had in the telecommunications, because we're going to be able to use that to create an electric internet, so we can wheel in the renewable electricity from the deserts and from the prairies of this country into the cities. That we're going to have a revolution that is just like this revolution that's in all of your pockets. If any of you have any cell phones in your pockets, can you lift them up? Can you lift them up, please? If you have a cell phone, and I know that you probably do, I want you to hold it up in the air. You are the future wind turbines dotting the countryside. If you have an iPod, I want you to hold that up too. You are the solar panels on the roofs and the deserts across America. If you have a BlackBerry or an iPhone or any other device, I want you to hold that up too. You are the technologies that haven't even been imagined yet, just waiting to be unleashed in the great green wave of this clean energy revolution. A decade from now, we will have an energy future that doesn't even resemble this energy past that we are still living in today. Do you feel that victory that we're going to have? Do you want that victory, green generation? Well, I ask you to go out and to make it happen, to protect our precious planet for generations to come. Thank you all for being here. This is the time. This is the place. You are the people. Thank you for having me here this evening. Thank you all for what you are doing. Thank you.